All right, so for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the classic construction models Caterpillar 375L in 1 to 48 scale. This is a relatively new release from CCM. This model came out in 3 different versions. The one you see here is the standard excavator with the sewer stick, the 2 buckets and quick coupler. You could also pick this model up as a demolition version, which featured a cab guard and a cat demolition attachment on the front. I believe it's a concrete pulverizer or processor. And the third model is the 375 LME. I believe 750 of each were made, and they retail for around $260 new at the time of this video. That price could go up in the future. I am not sure. There's been a lot of criticism about this model, and we'll get to that. You can already see I received my model broken. There's only a couple things wrong with it. So without further ado, let's get straight into the review. But like I said, this model comes with 2 buckets. So this is the 4-tooth trenching bucket, and you get a 5-tooth bucket. We'll get that 4-tooth trenching bucket out of here, and we'll look at that later. But starting off the review here, we'll take a look at the cab on this model. So zooming in here, you can see you got a nice little step right here. I believe is metal. It's a very thin metal, so you want to be very careful not to break that off or grab the model by that point, because you will most likely, the pressure from your finger will break that off. And then you got a nice little tiny one right here as well on the bottom of the cab. A little bit hard to see, but it is modeled very nicely right there. You have a black handrail that wraps around the front of the cab, or the side of the cab, I should say. I do believe it is metal. Again, it is a thin metal, so you want to be very careful not to grab the model by there. And then you do have some nice lights on the front of the cab right there. You have a nice windscreen wiper right there, and you got a nice light right there as well underneath the cab. And then you got one on this side of the car body as well. And then while we're looking at the front, you can see you got some nice hydraulic hoses details that run to your boom cylinders, which is very nice. They got the little silver painted connections on there, which is it's a pretty cool little touch. And then coming to the side of the machine, you can see you got a nice little latch painted on there, lock for your door. Now the cab door does open. Doesn't like to stay closed, but it does open. It opens about to a 90 degree, almost to a 90 degree angle. I'm not sure why CCM hasn't really figured out how to get the to do like a 180. When you got the newer Hitachi models, the door opens 180 degrees. I'm not sure why CCM hasn't figured that one out yet. But you do have some nice detail inside the cab. As you can see, it's a nice tan interior. You got cat on the back of the seat, and you even got a little warning sticker on the other side of the cab, which is nice. And then we'll close the cab door. Cab door is plastic, so the color match in certain lighting might be off. So you just have to kind of look out for that when you take pictures or display your model. It might look a little off, or you might be able to actually see through it a little bit. And then coming to this side, or the back side of the model, you can see you got some handrails right here. Now this handrail right here, when we get to the other side, you'll be able to see it, but don't feel like either they left a little too much metal on the handrail, or the handrail wasn't pushed into the hole all the way. It does stick up a little bit. You can kind of see it's kind of on an angle pointing up, but you do have metal handrails, which is nice. You got some nice cat decals on the side of the model as well. You got a nice 375 decal right there, and then you have this nice metal catwalk on the side of the model, and I believe it is not perforated through. And then we'll come to the counterweight on this machine, and then we'll fix the camera a little bit here. You can see you got some nice bolt holes with the bolts modeled in there to hold the counterweight onto the machine. You got a nice big cat logo right there, and then you got some tiny warning decals you can see right there, and then some reflectors right there as well. And then while we're focusing on the counterweight of the machine, we'll take a look at the top of the machine. You can see you got a nice warning decal right there, and they did somewhat model the mechanism to remove and put the counterweight on the machine as well. And then you got some pad printed decal right there to simulate, I'm guessing, what is supposed to be a grill. Coming to this side of the machine, you got a nice air cleaner right here. You have a nice exhaust right there, and then you can see you got some nice decals right here. Now this door, it does have a hinge. It does open. You want to be very careful with it. It is going to be a fragile mechanism. You don't want to put too much pressure on it or open it too far, because you might risk the door not lining back up, or you might break the mechanism on itself. But you can see right there, you got a nice pump modeled in there. You got some nice hydraulic hose details, and you got a nice cat air cleaner. I'm not sure to say air cleaner. A nice filter right there. And then the door will close up very nicely. And then coming to this side of the machine, you do have some metal painted handrails and steps right there as well. But that does it pretty much for the car body. Your undercarriage, nicely detailed. I don't believe the top rollers do roll. The bottom ones I don't think roll, they're just a part of the casting. And then we'll get to some of the functionality of this model. So we'll zoom out here. Now this is a fairly large model, so it is kind of hard to do a review of it since the stick is so large. So pardon it not being in the entire frame, but your stick goes out there. And you can see the cylinders do kind of have a hard time holding up the boom. And then the stick will come into about there. And as you can see, like I said, I have a hydraulic line that is busted off on my model. Not a big deal. Looks like it's going to be a simple fix. Just add a little bit of glue on there, but still kind of disappointing. And then your bucket cylinder will go out to about there, which is not the greatest of movement on the model. And then it will come in to about there as well. And then your boom will go up to there. And then we'll get the dig depth here. It will come all the way down. Now, you want to be careful when you do this, not to put your hands on any of the fragile parts of the model. But that is where you can get the cylinders for the boom to go all the way down, which is pretty nice. So if you wanted to have this, in a sewer dio, what the model is meant for, you can do that. But that is basically the review of the 375. I believe the 5-tooth bucket on here is the same as the 385. I believe they reused that. Here's the 4-tooth bucket. You can see right here. Just some holes drilled through it so you can put the little screws through. I guess you got somewhat of a detailed cutting edge right here. Some nice teeth. There's no wear plating on the back of this bucket. I kind of find that odd, since I would think for a trenching bucket you'd have some wear plating on the back. But they didn't model that very nicely. They didn't model it at all, I should say. But like I said, there's been some criticism about these models. People getting them broken. Some of the doors not lining up. And one thing I did forget to mention while we were on top of the engine compartment, you do have this door right here that opens, reveals the engine. Now these doors down here, they do open. I'm not going to open them. I've heard that those doors are crap on the model. And they don't really work that well. So for this review, I will not be opening those doors. They line up perfect right now, and I don't want to mess with their alignment right now. But like I said, there's been some criticism, people getting this model broken, missing parts, and, not getting the right model altogether from CCM, where they order the model from. So for I believe it's a $260 model, I feel like CCM could have done a little bit of a better job for quality control. But this is the product we got. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. I'm not too terribly disappointed with it. Like I said, I would have expected a little bit better of a model from CCM, but this is what we got. So that's going to do it for this review. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you'd like to follow my social media, both links will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video we uploaded.